Well, I heard Aston Martin were releasing their brand new DB11 in Tuscany, so I had to bluff my way into this beautiful Italian villa, and somebody gave me the key to the car, which is worth over $200,000. And now I'm going to take it for a spin.
It is purely a thing of beauty, not only what you can see, but down to the handmade engine under the bonnet. This is the 11th car in the DB series from Aston Martin. The last DB was DB10. It was the co-star of the Spectre movie. Only 10 were made, and at least one of which sold in February for $3.4 million. It was well worth the 18-hour trip to get to Italy to see this beautiful car. Of course, Italy was the perfect place. Perfect roads, and a country that is home to some of the most beautiful things in the world, like the canals of Venice, the Duomo in Florence, and of course the magnificent art around the Vatican, to name but a few of the country's treasures. But for this trip, the landscape included the DB11. It takes about 200 hours to manufacture it. It has hand-stitched upholstery and the only major vehicle in the world to still be hand-painted. This vehicle is all new from the ground up, and the design is what Aston Martin calls the second century plan. Some significant things to note is that this car doesn't have any front wings or fenders, as we'd say in America. There is actually one big bonnet. It took the company a better part of a year to find a roll of aluminum wide enough and a company that could actually manufacture it. Merrick Reichman is the Chief Creative Officer for Aston Martin.
And Aston Martin is never about fashion, it's always about style.
Part of my experience was a drive along Italian roads with Simon Croft, who has an amazing long title at Aston Martin, but when it comes down to it, he's the manager responsible for launching the car. He told me what's under the hood.
Under the bonnet, we have an all-new Aston Martin twin-turbo V12 engine, 5.2 litres, putting out 600 horsepower, 700 newton meters of torque. Will propel DB11 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds onto 200 miles an hour.
The driving is phenomenal. You have the option to change the car's handling by the click of a switch. It holds the corners, pushes the straightaway, and at a touch will gallop. It masters every inch of the road. Truly the most outstanding car I've driven in a long time, and that comes from someone who drives over 100 different cars a year.
Now, the average transaction price of the brand new Aston Martin DB11 will be approximately $220,000. The first customers will take delivery of theirs in early January next year. And if you're so inclined to go buy one, your local Aston Martin dealer will be happy to put you on the list. In Tuscany, I'm Nick Miles.